Welcome again. I'm Patrick and this is session 2. I think that I'm not good. We have started working on thoughts in the first session, and you see here our outcome were 3 topics we want to try to focus our energy on, and those are the ones that we want to think about the most. So keep this in mind as we work on the next topic today. Obviously, the things that go through our mind in our game can be helpful and not so helpful. There is most of the times an inner voice that either gives us a sense of praise if we do something well, or it could be also some negative comments or feedback that we give to ourselves when we, for example, waste a chance where we could have scored. So what this comes down to is a concept of the inner trainer. There's a part of us, inside of us, that wants us to improve. We want to become the best that we can be. And this part of us also lets us know whenever we don't match that sort of aspiration, when we miss a chance, whereas we actually want to think of ourselves as a very dangerous goal scorer. There's of course something that creates that sort of critique or sort of a sense of I'm not performing to the best of my abilities. So the inner trainer oftentimes will give us feedback or comments in the moment that are not so helpful for us and actually distract us from our game, and might even lead to us thinking that we are not able to perform at the level that we intend to. The inner trainer exercise works the following way. You will have 5 minutes to write down the thoughts that you are having in training or during a performance that are bothering you. So write all of them down and then select the top 3, the ones that you think are the most challenging, so the most distracting at the moment. You will then perform an exercise which I call the triple W for each of those 3. I'll run you through an example for my days as a striker, as I was playing soccer some years ago, and this you will do for all 3 of those thoughts. So my sample thought that I had here was, I'm wasting my chances, I'm never going to score. So that of course is not so helpful from my inner trainer. I have to translate it into something that helps me in a better way, and also make sure that my inner trainer thinks that I've listened to him or her, and we can then sort of move on and it's been heard. So the triple W framework is actually just 3 questions that I use to translate this statement into something more actionable and helpful for myself. The questions are what to do, what to change, and what to agree. So at first, I want to translate the comment or the statement into something that means something actionable for myself. I then want to get something out of it that means, okay, what can I change, what can I do differently? And then what to agree means I sort of settle on an agreement with my inner trainer what I'm going to do different from now, and therefore this is actually taken care of. I've listened, I've acted and reacted to it, and now this sentence actually is sort of diffused. So what to do? The topic here was about not converting chances. So obviously what I expect myself to do here is I want to convert chances and I want to score. What can I change? So then I would reflect on what am I doing and what possibly something I can improve, and I came up with things, before I shoot, I would have to look up and aim probably, because quite often I was just rushing into the chance and just converting sort of more in an instinctive way. And then also a second one that came up, and this was through consulting my trainer, which is also a strong recommendation I can give you. You don't have to, in terms of what to change, you don't have to figure this out by yourself, Ask your trainer what they might have observed that you could do better, your actual trainer in real life, or your teammates, for example. So right amount of power was another one that I came up with here. And then to sort of write this down in an agreement, I came up with a sentence saying, I will work on, and here I agreed on my aim, sort of aiming before I shoot, using the right amount of power, and then through my teammate and sort of a colleague's feedback of mine, I also landed on practicing one-on-one situations with the goalkeeper, that those would be my helpful next steps. And therefore, this statement was diffused. My inner trainer now knows that I have used his feedback or her feedback in a more helpful way, and I now also have something to work on. I hope this is helpful. You have a worksheet to complete, and please now start working on your top 3 challenges, and I hope you will learn a lot about next steps that you can work on to improve your performance.